everybody, Papering here with another status report. It's been a little while, but there's been a lot going on as far as like my day job work. Been very busy, unfortunately. Because of that, like most that have been following the channel or my page will know that that creates a very irregular schedule for what I can do hobby-wise and like uploads on the channel and all that, which is just one of those unfortunate necessary things. So. But things have started to kind of slow down a bit. I like a little work trip is kind of coming to an end, hopefully soon. I'll be back in like kind of my home base of operations, if you will, for my hobby and stuff, and just my home in general. But I don't expect that to necessarily alleviate a whole lot being back home, just because I do have 4 young kids. So that really keeps me busy too. So like, even if I had a job where I could just hobby the whole time, it would still pretty much be only when the kids are at school. Because like I said, having 4 kids running around is a lot of work and pretty busy too. But I have finally gotten back into some hobby things as well. So there's probably going to be a slew of videos. I'm going to be knocking out some videos today because there's been a lot going on in the world of hobby, as well as I guess just some kind of changes going on with the channel a bit. I'm still going to be covering 40K stuff for sure. But there's going to be more kind of other content, like my off the sprue thing will probably become a little bit more diverse with a little bit more things in there. As you can see right now, I'm wearing a Halo Infinite shirt, and that is because I'm a huge Halo fan. It's pretty much like the only game I play when I do have time to actually do video games. Been playing since the first Halo came out and have been playing ever since. And so much, I'm not much of a rank grinder. They kind of had ranks. I mean, they had ranks in Halo 3. They had like one achievement attached to it, and then Halo Reach had ranks, but it wasn't like, it was just kind of unlock stuff, and it didn't really do much else. And then Halos 4 and 5, same thing. The only thing being in Halo 5 for Infinite, if you get to the highest rank you can, in that you can get like a special armor unlock or something. But I just don't ever really have the interest in the grind for rank and stuff like that. Actually takes a lot of the fun out of it for me to just sit there and just like monotonously try to play as much as possible and all that kind of stuff. And like I said, like doing that kind of a grind really takes away from like other hobbies that I really enjoy doing and spending time with my family. So it's never really been an option. But one thing I do really like doing is achievement hunting in the Halo games. And as of September 4th, I finally got my last achievement in Halo, the Master Chief Collection, which means I now have 100% achievements across all of the Halo games. That's including the strategy games like Halo Wars 1 and 2 and the Definitive Edition, the mobile games, and all the platforms those came out on. So I know like Spartan Ops came out on, or not Spartan Ops, Spartan Assault came out on 360, Xbox One, mobile, and PC. And I got them like on all of those and got all the achievements because they had, some of them had more achievements, some of them had less. So they kind of had different achievements and stuff. And basically being a Halo achievement completionist, I really wanted to do that, to get all those. And yeah, and the Master Chief Collection was a huge thing. When it first came out, I think it had 400 achievements. Then they kept adding games and updating it, and it sits at 700 achievements for 7,000 gamer score, which I finally completed. There's a lot of kind of, I don't know, kind of grind like achievements. But like I said, it's done. So it's pretty fun. It's a great journey. I always like completing the different Halos. The first one I actually ever got 100% in, which then I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to get them all, was in ODST, which is actually a pretty easy one of all the Halo games to get 100% without really even having to try. That being said, though, all the ones that came out on just 360 are soon, I think this year, I want to say it's this year or early next year, those servers will be shut down. So then they will be unobtainable if you are just getting into the Halo franchise or had them and just haven't finished them and stuff like that. So there's a lot of people scrambling to get the original 360 versions done on a lot of different games. But Anyway, I won't go too much more on that because I am going to make a separate video, not really talking about my journey to get 100% achievements on the Halo games, but more specifically Halo Infinite, and kind of my thoughts and everything, and my excitement for that is going to be coming out December 8th. And also how the tech preview went. I was able to do the first tech preview. They're doing another one that's coming out in about 2 weeks. And that one, as far as what I understand on the article, they're going to invite everybody in that one. They really want to test and stress the system, so on launch day they don't have any major issues. So that's cool. So I should be able to participate in that one too, and I can't wait because I had so much fun in the first one. So very, very excited into the next one. But like I said, I'll go into more details on kind of my thoughts and what I liked, disliked, or whatever on the tech preview that I did do. A few other things. I might do a more extensive video on kind of the change of the channel and things in general. But basically, there's a lot of stuff going on right now with Games Workshop, and I feel a lot of it is their own worst enemy. Like they're shooting themselves in the foot, kind of a thing, and it's really unfortunate. And more particularly, I am planning on doing a video on my thoughts on Warhammer Plus. It's been about 3 weeks now since it's come out, so I didn't want to do it the first week because to be honest, I wasn't like the biggest fan. I was kind of like, okay, but I didn't dive too much into it. Second week, I was still kind of, and then third week, I have a better idea of like kind of my thoughts and feelings on it. And I'll go more in depth on, in the end, do I think it's worth it or not? And just kind of just my general thoughts on it all. But yeah, but how that pertains to the channel is, one, I'm a very small channel anyway. I have 500 something subs right now. I can't, so as such, I am unable to monetize any of my videos because you have to have like, I don't know, so many subs and then so many view hours, which even if I do get the subs, I might not have the view hours, I guess. I don't know how it exactly works, but regardless, they can still try to, I don't know, shut down or copyright claim certain things. And I say that because Games Workshop has really been on a warpath for certain kind of copyright infringements and stuff. And some people might be like, well, this is a fair use, you're doing a review and whatever, and such like that. And while that's true, they've kind of resorted to something a little different. So from what we can understand from the infringement, I did a video on that earlier on their new updated like rules for using their IP and stuff. And from what you can tell from there is basically like you can't use any animations unless it's a Games Workshop official. But then there's a lot of other stuff that just made it seem really gray area. Like it almost seemed like they could, if they wanted to, copyright claim or whatever, try to get a video taken off because you did a battle report. Because at the end of the day, those models are their IP and they're copyrighted model. Like, so you're using and showing their models on your battle report. That hasn't happened, and hopefully it won't happen. But what did happen, and you can go check it out, is a much bigger channel that a lot of people I'm sure are familiar with. It's Midwinter Minis. He did a review of Warhammer Plus video, his thoughts, and in that video, kind of like what I'll do, because it's, I mean, at the end of the day, it's still fair use. I'm not going to be showing full episodes or anything like that, but he kind of showed partial parts of episodes, and then he's superimposed over it. So it's kind of like a reaction video. He's there. The video itself is degraded. The sound's degraded. All of that kind of goes into it. Not to mention, there was even somebody brought up that there's a part of one of the episodes of Hammer and Bolter where there's a song in it that sounds very similar to a song Midwinter Minis did. Now I have the CD and I think I got the digital download for it as well, but Midwinter Minis released like an album of sorts, if you will, for gaming, for wargaming, Dungeons and Dragons, tabletop, whatever, to kind of have like background ambient music that's kind of epic, but then kind of just subtle in the background and stuff. And there is one episode where it does sound, it's not exactly the same as in like the same instruments and stuff, but it's like the same rhythm, the same just about everything else, and it does sound really familiar. But anyway, he kind of laughed it off as like, it's not like a super complex I can't want to say rhythm, but theme or whatever you want to say. So he kind of just kind of whatever. Well, then, I don't know how many days or hours or how long it was after his video went live, he got a copyright claim against him. And it was from Games Workshop, and it was a manual copyright, meaning somebody went in and physically pushed copyright claim on his video. It wasn't like an algorithm accident or something such like that. So they didn't copyright claim it for it to be taken down, but just so it was demonetized. So this is like really opened up a huge can of worms now, because so are they going to start trying to demonetize anybody that puts any content out that has their IP in it? Or also potentially, because his review wasn't 100% glowing, he didn't bash Warhammer Plus in the service at all. Yes, well, to a degree, but he did critique it and talk about things that he wished were better, things that are good, such like that. And so that kind of like opens up the idea of, well, what if he had just given a praising review and it was just, whatever, would they have just left it alone? Or because there was some bit of negativity in there and a little bit of, like maybe you should, just, buyer beware kind of a thing, be wary of what you do. So did that open it up to them being like, well, anybody that has a negative view or negative, I don't know, review that they put out there, they're going to demonetize the videos potentially. So that's interesting. So because of that, like I said, some of the content is going to change up a bit to, I guess, cover more things. Now, it is called the Paint Marine, which is pretty generic. I mean, yes, that name, nickname, whatever you want to say, moniker, generated from the hobby of 40K. But I do have other hobbies. Like I said, I try to share them mostly in my Off the Sprue series. The idea being it's like off topic, off subject, off the sprue. So like I said, like I've been doing a lot of different, like kind of mostly Lego stuff is on there right now. I used to be huge Legos when I was a kid, and as I got older, and then my kids are getting into Lego, so I've gotten back into that. So that will definitely continue. But then like I want to touch more into other things like my video game hobby, mostly in the realm of Halo. So I'll be doing more of that. And then I also am a huge movie goer. I love being a little bit of a cinephile. And so I'll probably throw up every now and again my quick thoughts and feelings on different movies. So because of that, as of right now, I'm just going to keep it called Off the Sprue. I mean, it's going to be so many different topics. I thought about maybe creating different playlists that cover like specifically, like I'll have like all the Lego videos, all the movie review videos and stuff like that. But for now, I'm just going to keep it all under the one umbrella of Off the Sprue. And I'll just go from there, just because, like I said, like my schedule already is pretty hectic. So I'll just, I'll just keep it in there just to build that video library up, I guess, if you will, and we'll go from there. So what else is going on? Well, I should be kind of like back settled down to, I could have tried to make the Texas Warhammer event. It was very tempting, but I'm gonna still sit it out just because I haven't actually physically gotten to play any 9th edition. So I just feel like, I don't know if it'd be the greatest to go down there. Like I probably would still have fun, but I just don't want to get completely like destroyed. So I'm just gonna sit it out for now, and just try to kind of like ease my way back in. Some stuff on Kill Team. I did not get the Octarius box set. I kind of put that up. Like I don't think it's a bad deal, but like I don't really need all that terrain. I'm not going to use anything with the orc terrain. Like it's nice, and like yes, if you kept the box set, it would be cool. And then like having a kill team of orcs would be cool, or I could try to sell that half. But it's so much of a hassle. Like I'm already still stuck with the Necron half board, all the extra bits for the Pariah Nexus, and I just really wanted the Space Marine half. So I mean, I don't know. It is what it is with that. I'm kind of stuck holding, kind of at a loss basically for half a box I really didn't want. And that's kind of how I feel about this. Like I really want the Krieg models, and I'm sure it's a better deal to get them in the box than to try to buy them separate later. Yeah, but I don't know. It is what it is right now. So that's why I passed on the box. It's just plus I think it was like a $200 price tag. It was just too much for really what I wanted, was really just the Krieg models and then in the rules. But again, with not knowing how soon I'm going to get to it, as far as playing Kill Team again, there could be a whole new edition, or like not edition, but like a new, I don't know what they call it, like an update to the rules that they put out, like a new book or whatever. Like right now they have the compendium, which is essentially an index book for all the other armies that don't have rules that will be coming out. Plus I kind of want to wait and see, because I have a feeling they're going to be releasing like box sets that are more akin to either Warcry or Shadespire. Is it Shadespire? No, Underworlds. Shadespire was one iteration of Underworlds. So Warhammer Underworlds. Now, I'm not too, I want to say Warcry has unique models, kind of like Necromunda. Like you're not really going to find them in the grander scheme of Age of Sigmar, but they're like their own unique unit. And then you have Warhammer Underworlds that has the kind of like more main factions, but the models, the sculpts are very like elite or unique poses and really cool like that. And I'm really kind of hoping they do something more like that, because I think it'd be really cool to get some more dynamic pose, like Tau models or guard models or whatever, that have a lot more character, kind of like the Gaunt's Ghost that they just recently released. That would be really cool if they did something like that for different factions and stuff. Instead of just kind of, I mean, they could still go kind of like the Necromunda Warcry route, or, you know, like with these Krieg models, which is kind of seeming what they're kind of going to do, is more that route with the Krieg and the Orc models. So, I mean, that is what it is. I kind of hope though that maybe we'll get a little bit of an update with, you know, some of these other factions. So I'm kind of wait, but I do have a plan. Like I already have my my Elysian / ODST, basically Tempestus Scions kill team that I played before. But I do plan on, I did have like a Tau kill team. I do plan on, I've sold all my Tau, but I have kind of this weird soft spot for Tau for whatever reason. I think a lot of it is because reading the Farsight books are they're just really good reads, and I do for sure like the Farsight side of things. But anyway, so I do plan on creating another Tau kill team. The only difference this time is I have a plan of a Guvesa conversion. I had done them before, just kind of took some regular guard, and I had done like this whole thing for my actual Tau army, and it turned out really well. But I have a new idea that I'm not going to share now, but it involves, it's all, and the other thing too is the reason why I want to do this is because essentially I can't use my ODST kill team in any like official GW events. Like as far as right now, I can still use them at like Nova, Adepticon, stuff like that. But if I was to try to go to like one of these events like they're doing in Texas, Florida, and California, no, New Orleans. Yeah, it was New Orleans or Louisiana. I'm pretty sure it was New Orleans. I'm not sure though. But anyway, I wouldn't be able to use them. They only, because they have third-party helmets. Everything else is Games Workshop, but the helmets, the heads are third-party, and they're all against that now. So yeah, so I have a really cool conversion idea for some Tau Guvesa kill team models that will be 100% Games Workshop. There will not be any issue there, and again, they'll be very different and unique, which is something I really like. And plus, with kill team, it's a lot easier to make a highly or heavily converted army to bring versus a whole army, which can be very time consuming in and of itself to build and convert, then have to paint them all. So that's one thing I really like about like just the scale of kill team in general. So but yeah, and then as far as like my whole painting plan I had on this like work trip here and there is, it's been really hit and miss, and I really have not been able to accomplish near what I wanted to. But I am back on the painting horse, if you will, and oh, I guess I got to put him down by me. So I've been working on some Last Fusel eliminators, and they're pretty close to done. This one here, well, I have like a whole squad of them or whatever, but they pretty much just need some line work, edge highlighting, and then some transfers, and then they're pretty much done. So, and I really like this one. The base, I don't remember where I got this from. It's a resin base. I cannot for the life of me remember where I got it, but I think it looks really, really cool. So, and if everybody's curious, like what the deal is, why they're like this dark green color, it might look almost black on there, but it is the Dark Angels green, or the what is it? Caliban green? That's the lighter. You know what? Let me look. Okay, yeah, it is the Caliban green, and then I used the Warpstone Glow for part of it. So the idea being, I'll shake this one up a little bit. Okay. So so the idea being that, you know, like with my Star Commanders, they're very bright white, as you can see in the artwork behind me. But I wanted the Eliminators to be a little bit more stealthy, because, you know, they're not, they're kind of like a more, well, they can infiltrate or whatever, deep strike. They have more stealthy rules to them. So I wanted them to be more stealthy. I have Reavers that are also a different color, but I'll explain that. But so them, my incursors and infiltrators and the eliminators are all this dark green color. Now it serves many different purposes. Many will know that obviously there's a heavily Buzz Lightyear, we'll call it Toy Story Buzz Lightyear theme, but it's really not Toy Story. It's based on the early 2000s cartoon Buzz Lightyear Star Command. But those units that I mentioned are, I guess, kind of a little bit more of a callback to Toy Story, because there's kind of emulating the fact that the army men in Toy Story are green, and they would kind of like sneak around and do a lot of recon and stuff like that in the movies. So that's kind of the idea, the connection there with the green. But then also I went with it because my first army was Dark Angels, and then my next was Salamanders. So they have both those shades of green that I used for them. So we got the dark green for the Dark Angels, and then the Warpstone, which I can't remember what it used to be called. It wasn't Warpstone or Dark Angels green. It was Caliban. I can't remember. Was it Snot? I want to say it's Snot green. But anyway, so I had those colors in there as kind of just a throwback to my original armies when I first came into the hobby. So yeah, so that is why they're a darker color. Now the Reavers, their armor is base purple, and that's based off of a character called Warp Dark Matter from the cartoon. And those models, just the way they were set up and everything, looked closer to the kind of space suit that he wore. Plus, you know, they're kind of like terror shock troops, and so I wanted them to still be stealthy because they are ones that can still deep strike, infiltrate, or whatever. And then I didn't want the bright white as well, but I wanted them to still be different, so I did them in the purple, and it would just work better because that character is actually kind of he's a villain essentially, and so these guys are a little bit scarier. So I don't know, it works, at least in my head. So but yeah, so once these are done, like I said, I still have a ton of stuff to paint, both here and back home. I left most of the vehicles at home. I brought most of the infantry type stuff here with me. So yeah, so once these are done though, I think the next step on the paint is probably, I don't know. I either want to do the heavy version of the Eliminators or the Assault Hellblasters. I think it's going to be Assault Hellblasters because I had done a poll, and I'm trying to look back for it, but I had done kind of like a poll to see, to basically ask people what they wanted me to paint next. And it had like the Hellblasters, I want to say heavy or intercessors with Stalker bolt rifles, the Eliminators with las fusils, and then the heavy intercessors with, I can't remember what the new heavy bolt rifles are called. Maybe they're just called heavy bolt rifles. And the new heavy intercessors won, and then in second by just like a point or something was the last Fusel Eliminators. So that's now. And then I'm pretty sure it was the Hell Blasters was next. So I'll be doing a full 10-man squad of assault Hell Blasters. So yeah, like I said, it's at least any little bit helps. Any little dent into the backlog is a dent into the backlog. And I've definitely been enjoying the break that we've gotten from GW of no Space Marine releases. Don't know how much longer that will last because they seem to love to turn them out. So right now we've seen some Space Marine stuff on Forge World. There's been like that new Bandai figure and stuff like that, which is fine. But like as long as the main Primaris just kind of get laid off for with a little bit, so I can continue to just try to catch up, that'd be great. So, and that's kind of pretty much it for right now. Like I said, I've got a lot of other videos I'm gonna try to knock out today. And then it'll be a while, I got to edit them and stuff, and I don't do anything too crazy, but it still takes a little bit of time. So we'll be doing all that. So, all right. Well, again, thank you for watching. If this is your first time, I greatly appreciate you stopping by and checking things out. I appreciate the like and the subscribe. You can check out my Facebook and Instagram in the links in the description below. And until next time.